Elizabeth, can you describe first of all where we are? What are we looking at? What are we doing?
So we're just around East India at the moment in East London.
East India Dock.
East India Dock, yep. So kind of riverbank side. It's a nice day, sun's out, and it's literally the last day of September, so just trying to enjoy.
Oh God, I forgot we turn a month tomorrow.
Yeah,
I
know. And obviously there's always a different energy in the air when we start the embers, so I'm just trying to look for the light in the day at the moment, and I landed here on a random walk, so.
And there's a lot of light today. The sunshine is both in the sky, but it's also bouncing off the river.
Mm-hmm.
So we're getting a lot of heat.
Yeah.
There's also kind of quite a calm feeling at this time of day.
Very much so. It probably is the time of day, kind of late-ish afternoon. And I like this spot because it is very quiet, and I love how the sun kind of reflects in the water a lot. It's very calming. People always say, you feel calmer by water, so I thought this probably makes sense for me today.
Oh, I haven't heard that before. Because I always love being by water. So being by water calms you down.
It does. I think it's the ebb and flow of the water. No wave or ripple is quite the same, and I feel like your mind just gets lost in following all those patterns and shadows and sparkles and glistens. So
that's lovely. It's very sort of positive, very meditative.
Yeah.
And you said you know this spot, you've come here because you know what you're going to get when you get here. So it's kind of like you were looking forward to reaching this point and seeing the river.
It almost took the life out of me to even get here.
Oh my
goodness. I was very anxious before, and I was like, I just need to get to this point, then I know I can sit down. Even sitting on this bench, I wasn't anticipating sitting here because I usually sit a little bit further down, but I was like, this is as far as I can come.
You're a creature of habit. I like this. You've got your favourite bench.
Honestly, I have my favourite spot. Didn't quite make it there today, but this is doing just right for me. I think being kind of in front of the trees as well, so there's a nice balance.
It's a balance of energy, isn't it? Really?
Yeah.
Balance of nature. So what have you been contemplating since you've sat down here? What's been in your mind? What's been in your thoughts?
I mean, I guess just the life of a 28-year-old trying to, make it in life in London, really.
There was a big sigh there.
It's a big one. Honestly, we're just releasing that tension at the moment because it does get a lot, and I think there's so many layers to it, with like work, career, family, relationships, and there's just been a bit of a car crash in my life recently, and I'm just trying to. I feel like I'm left at the remnants of the scene, just trying to figure out how the heck did we get here and what is the port of call to move forward and hopefully make it to an area of safety.
Wow, that's a lot to think about, and also you're looking around at the debris around you, and you're wondering what's going through your mind as in the place you're in. Are you hard on yourself and you're like, this is all my fault, or are you kind of like, how did this happen? This was fate. I mean, how are you framing the situation you're in?
I feel like it was caused from positive intent. Obviously you have certain conversations with people. Sometimes people hear what they want to hear, but I know that from where my heart was, it was always with good intention. And I think it's just balancing like, did I do too much? Was I overzealous? Or did this need to happen? Did things need to break down before they can properly be rebuilt again with like solid foundation, and kind of just better communication? Because, that's something that everyone struggles with. And I'm like, let's just communicate. Let's talk about it, even if it's hard, even if it's, really uncomfortable. But I also feel like in that you're uncovering a lot of other truths that maybe you didn't realize were there, or you've forgotten about, or you've minimized. So it kind of just feels like a really stark like reality check. And even in the conversation I had, I kept saying that this is a checkpoint. I didn't know what specifically for, and I still don't know, but I still stand by that, it being a checkpoint, to hopefully move things forward.
There's sometimes there's a strength in knowing where you're at when you're down in the depths and when you're at a hard place, there is a strength in going, this is testing me. This is kind of like, this is like a hurdle I have to get over. I've got to gather my forces. I've got to pull up my socks. Use all those kind of phrases to kind of face forward. And it's interesting what you're talking about, keeping the communication going, uncovering different sort of like hidden layers that you didn't expect, etc. It's kind of, there's a lot of momentum going on. You're not standing still. You're not stuck in that sort of depression where nothing moves and nothing can shift, but it sounds like there's a lot of movement.
And especially for me, it was just a lot of movement out of like moving away from like pretense and masking and pretending and just being really raw and vulnerable to a point where it does start to feel relatable, because I feel like, again, in society we're all trying to be like the best versions of ourselves, but sometimes that best version that we're aspiring to isn't even who we truly are. And then you've got that whole battle with perfection. Am I doing enough? Am I doing too little? How can I do more? But it's like, actually, have you checked in with yourself to just see, like, are you okay? Like, do you need to do anything? Like, who's putting this pressure on you? And that's why I'm here today, because I'm such a perfectionist. I'm like, I always feel like I need to be doing more. And I thought, I don't have the capacity today. I just need to take a walk and have a breather. And if I'm blessed with tomorrow, maybe that will be tomorrow's problem.
Well, that's good. That sounds like you've got a bit of perspective on it, and you're going easy on yourself. You don't have to take this battle today. If you don't need to.
If I don't need to, because it's not a good use of my energy, and I try to be as intentional as possible. And I think there can be some tension with that, even in terms of me saying no to myself. Like, no, close the laptop, put the pen down, and just sit in silence for a bit. Like, it is uncomfortable, even for me, but it may just be what I need in that moment.
You mentioned vulnerability. Vulnerability is a tricky thing for all of us, because when you make yourself vulnerable, you open up, you take away the shell, and you could be hurt. And there is also, we've all got knowledge. After a certain age, we have knowledge of being hurt. We've been to the vulnerable places, and we kind of don't want to go there again.
Do you know? It's not pretty.
It's brave to be vulnerable.
It is brave, and it is very revealing. But again, it's just everyone, or we find it easier to run away from the truth. But ultimately, you only really start living life outside of your comfort zone. And vulnerability is difficult for everyone, including me, but I just have an innate perseverance to try and get there, even if it's so uncomfortable for me, because I know that in the long run it'll do me better, or I'll feel better for it, even if the immediate response is like, oh my gosh, that was so cringe, or I'm embarrassed. Let's explore embarrassment a bit more. Where does that even come from? It's all about perception, how you think other people see you, but that may not even be true. It's just a false idea that you've put in your head that's limiting you. But aren't you the one who's wanting freedom to just be yourself?
You mentioned comfort zone. You mentioned being comfortable and then being uncomfortable and pushing yourself. What does comfortable mean for you? And where is the line where it goes into discomfort, but like the discomfort that you need to press on yourself?
Comfortability for me is just it's just ease, doing something that feels effortless, or it triggers a positive emotion within me, whether that's happiness or joy or excitement. I feel like in spaces like that, I feel comfortable, around people who I know really well, who know me really well, who I trust, and who bring me those positive emotions. But then it's funny, because I feel like even in pursuing that positive emotion, say for example love or a relationship, you may need to get uncomfortable to truly get there. And that discomfort comes from you showing the layers that you may not have initially in the first couple of weeks of seeing someone. Because if you want this thing to last and for it to be true, then we've got to go around. You can't just stop halfway and think that's going to be sufficient, because there's going to be times where your other half comes out, whether it's like triggered by a certain situation or you're just having an off day. And if that person isn't aware of it, understands it, and knows how to support you through it, then you'll be feeling left alone and like isolated.
And then we kind of almost go back to the vulnerable thing.
Yep.
But it's outside of your... I mean, one of the things about being in the uncomfortable zone is it's not in your control. And we like to control our lives, especially when it comes to emotions and important stuff, which, you know, is deep in the heart. So... I don't think, well, I mean, unless you're an adrenaline junkie, not many people want to just go, okay, let's go uncomfortable.
Yeah, no, not at all. It definitely does take a lot of massaging and, you know, just taking it step by step. But I think it's ultimately the awareness of knowing that it needs to happen, but not rushing yourself through it just to get it done, because even then you may not do it to a level of sincerity that will benefit both parties in the situation. So it's like, okay, I know we need to get there, and you know as well, but we're just going to take our time and let time, you know, test us and see us through this discovery of ourselves, basically.
Yeah, because the complication is the other person is in exactly the same maelstrom and whirlwind or whirlpool of stuff going on. So if we're talking about a relationship, the other person might be sitting on a bench thinking exactly the same, in the same way, but in a different way. Just going, what's going on? What's going on?
How do I show myself more? Like,
oh my goodness.
Do I feel comfortable enough to say this, or to admit this, or to, you know, talk about this? But it really is just time. I feel like the society that we're in, everyone's rushing, and maybe it's because we live in London and there's just that whole mentality. Like, you really do feel the difference in London. I remember being in, I mean, Paris isn't much different, but certain areas of Paris, you know, walking through like the streets, and I was walking with my friends and we were walking at quite a pace, and then one of us just stopped us and we're like, guys, we're not in London, slow down. Like, let's enjoy it. It's like, why are we always rushing from A to B? And it's like, I'm just trying to take my time with slower days.
And also, I think if you're in Paris, you also want to try and look a bit more sophisticated.
Absolutely. You know, make sure your posture's right.
Because you're surrounded by French people looking glamorous.
Of course. So again, you want to be able to show up in an environment as such and say, yeah, do you know what, I am somebody, and no, I may not be able to speak the language, but I can still fit in a way, or even if I don't fit in, and represent, exactly, and stand out in a way where maybe you'll look at me twice, but there's an understanding. It's like that nod of camaraderie, like, yeah, okay, you're about your business, go about your business, have a nice day, bonne journée, type vibe.
I mean, you started the conversation by mentioning the fact that you're 28. That identity of being a young person at the end of their 20s, late 20s, is part of how you see yourself. But if I spoke to you when you were, like, for instance, I spoke to someone yesterday for this podcast. He was 23 and he rooted himself at 23. He's like, I'm 23 and this is where I'm at in life.
Wow.
Like, you're 28 and this is where you're at in life. It's interesting how age helps us kind of work out how we should be.
Yeah, 100%. Even so, like, how you said should be, like, it's kind of like double layered, because I feel like I should be in certain spaces, but then I also don't want to get lost in the shoulda, coulda, woulda, you know, comparative lens, because it just feels like a trap sometimes. And sometimes I just need to accept that, okay, ultimately I want to be this person or become this person, but I have to also acknowledge the journey that I'm on and actively take every day of just becoming. And there are so many changes that have occurred in that, you know, if I've looked from today to like last week or last month, like there are positive changes that have happened where I'm like, okay, cool, like I'm moving forward in the way that I want to. And it's like I'm trying to adopt more of a mentality of I'm 28 and I'm where I want to be by my standards, as opposed to where I should be from standards of society or like cultural traditions or
Yeah, it's interesting
family.
that one, isn't it? Because there is a should.
Yeah.
You're really absolutely correct to pick up on that. You know, I'm 53 and I should be acting in a certain way because I'm 53. You know, if I was 40 or 60 or 15, you know, similarly, the age kind of gives you a definition, but at the same time, what is that definition?
What even is it? Like, can we just throw it out the window?
Yes.
Because what does it even mean when everything around us, like, changes every day? There's so many different variables. What, like, category do you fit in? Are you a corporate person? Are you a creative? Are you, you know, a craftsman? Like,
well, the nice thing is that you can explore at your age, and it is at your age, you can explore these things and go, I could be any of these things because I'm young.
Yeah, 100%. And I feel like I've definitely taken it in my stride in being 28 to do that and explore. Like, I'm going to be 29 at the end of the year, but I started this year by quitting my job and saying,
Oh, that's brave.
Yeah, I said I'm done. The 9 to 5 isn't quite for me, and I'd rather just take a leap on the creative side because that gives me a lot more joy, and that's
You're
where
living
I want
the
to
creative
be.
life.
It's what I'm doing right now. I'm somewhere on a bench, you know.
Tell me how it is. Tell me how it is. It sounds great.
It's great, but it's also freaking like intense, and it stretches you in a lot of different ways. And you know, even on my walk here, I was just thinking about art itself, just art, whether it's, you know, painting, video, film, whatever, music. And I feel like the expression of art is so much pain of not getting what you think you like want or what you think you're able to get, and is like documenting or framing that journey of pain into something that feels beautiful.
Wow, I've never heard it described like that. That's really interesting. Pain.
It's a lot of pain because I'm an artist. I'm a visual artist, but the things that I have created, you know, in different social settings, my own like personal practice, there has always been an element of pain in there. Whether it's, you know, I'm having fun in the moment filming, but I'm crying my eyes out at 2 a.m. in the morning because I feel like this version of the edit isn't good enough. Or I'm in a room full of people where imposter syndrome is killing me, but I know I need to deliver this in 2 days' time to pay my rent.
So it's kind of like walking on nails. It's kind
Fully, but it's still something that you go back to.
Now I understand the pain reference.
Just to contextualise
my
it a
goodness.
bit. Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
so your art is not just having highfalutin thoughts and writing poetry about clouds.
No.
Graft.
It's graft. Like the head in the clouds moment, that almost feels like an accent that you sprinkle on top of the core, like, piece. But in terms of getting to the piece, there's a lot of graft, there's a lot of pain, there's a lot of fatigue. Like any creative I ask, hey, how are you? I'm tired, man. I'm so tired. Like,
and it's not tired of being creative, it's tired of the stress of feeling whether you're delivering or doing what you want to do.
This is the thing, doing what you want to do, like, you know, and always trying to think of the journey as a whole. It's like, okay, I can do one project which is like half of what I want to do, but half because it's paying me well and I kind of need the money to survive. But then I'm also thinking, how long do I need to do this before I'm at a stage where I have full creative freedom and I can do things as I want?
Or how long until my soul has been gouged out
by
the corporate world?
Fully. Which
and
one is it?
I've just gone to the dark side.
Literally. And it feels like a rat race of, you know, just trying to play between, you know, that light and the darkness, but then the darkness, it cushions you for a second, and it allows you to appreciate the light a lot more, because when you do get things of creative freedom,
this is a very good point. Yeah,
it's the value.
You kind of need both
Yeah.
to understand, and to have the lightness, you have to know the heaviness, and the heaviness of earning money, putting food on the table, paying your rent, all of that kind of thing.
Yeah.
When you took the leap of faith, you had an idea of what lay ahead. We're now like most of the way through the year. Has that idea changed? Are you looking back with hindsight and thinking, okay, it's not what I thought, or is it what you thought?
I feel like it's both. Like, in some ways it is what I thought, in the sense of I knew that it wasn't going to be easy, and that there would be days where, you know, I'm struggling and I'm looking for work and I'm just trying to survive in terms of all of my responsibilities as an adult. But then it also isn't what I thought it would be, in the sense of you don't just take the leap and do what you want once you've done that. Like,
so you thought there'd be more freedom, and there isn't.
That there's still a bit of, you know, playing the game, if you will, like, to be able to move forward is a give and take. Like, a lot of creatives, maybe 60-70% of the stuff that they do is maybe corporate led, or things that they're not particularly enthused about, but they know, okay, it will get me in this store, it's good experience and it's good pay. And then the other 20-30% is those passion projects which keep you alive, and you take that experience that you've learned through the trenches to plug into what you really feel passionate about for days.
And it is that binary. It's kind of like in the trenches or up in the clouds.
100%.
Oh my
but
goodness,
again,
wow.
you do need both, because it helps to round your perspective in a really healthy way, and also just appreciation, like, for your work, for other people's work, and then also even just inspiring other generations. Like, it is possible, but don't think the road's going to be easy, because it just isn't. And nothing worth having in life is easy.
Said like a veteran.
That's just a classic saying, which is very applicable, and I'm learning that myself.
Oh my goodness! What about the social side of it? I mean, your identity now that you are a creative and you're living the creative life. Are you drawn towards a different crowd? Do you hang out with different people? Is there a different lifestyle that goes with it? Or is your life exactly the same, but you're just doing a different thing with it?
Oh no, it's definitely different. I'm so glad to not be around as often the corporate space, because I feel like there is such a haven of pretense. It's trying to be people who you're not. It's building personalities in order to seem like someone in the workplace, but then when you leave the office you can't wait to switch off on the train.
That's interesting.
It's a real discussion that creatives have, because it's like, I can't continue to pretend anymore. Like, it's affecting me, it's affecting my mental health, and I feel like I'm not giving back to myself. So that's a huge
So
change.
you're talking about you pretending to be someone else, or other people within the corporate world, you feel like it is a pretend space where everyone's acting?
Both layers. Like, I know when I was in my corporate roles, like, there was a certain, like, front I would have to put on.
That everyone puts on.
They're kind
of like suited and booted, straight face front.
100%.
I'm really efficient, I can deliver, boom, boom, boom.
Fully. You just assume these huge titles and everyone's just winging it. Literally, C-suite people will tell me they're winging it just because they can. But
they're all crying inside.
They're all crying inside, and they have no idea what's going on. They're all stressed because they have to deliver to the points that they have, put for themselves. But I'm like, I just value, like, way much more authenticity. And it was at that point when I returned back to work at the beginning of this year, it took me half an hour to even walk through the door, because I thought, I'm going to have to put this mask on, and I just don't think I can do it anymore.
Wow. That's a very strong feeling you were feeling.
Yep. It's called conviction.
It's called?
Conviction. Yep. Fully.
I mean, you also talked about imposter syndrome. And are those two things linked? Are they different things?
I think imposter syndrome,
Because I don't fully understand imposter syndrome. How do you understand imposter syndrome for yourself?
for myself, so my understanding of imposter syndrome is where you feel like you don't qualify to be in a certain space. So that can be in like a work setting, you know, if you've been promoted to a senior role and a few weeks in, you're like super nervous because you're like, I don't know if I can do this, or do I know how to do these formulas or create these decks, or, you know, formulate the strategy.
It's a lot of questioning, and it's got a lot of kind of loss. It's a loss of confidence.
100%.
It's like, I don't feel confident.
Yep, and your
doing what I'm doing.
self-worth goes down because you're thinking, maybe I actually don't have a clue what I'm doing, and now I'm in this position where people are looking at me and I'm being given responsibilities and I don't know how I'm going to fare here. And it's the same thing with a creative. Like if you've been, you know, signed off to do something huge, like with a big brand or an international opportunity, you'll feel like, why am I here? Like, what have I got to bring to the table? And your perception of self goes.
Or also, will people like what I've done?
Yeah, will people like what I've done?
My creation it comes from the soul, it comes from my creative juices, and then people might just turn around and say, oh, that looks a bit crap.
Yeah, 100%. They may not understand it, and then you start questioning, like, the value and validity of what you offer when that's what people wanted from you in the first place. And then it can spiral, because then you'll feel like you need to start changing things in order to fit the status quo, and it may work to your detriment, because it's like people didn't want what you think that they want what you organically provide.
Self-doubt is also a great human trait. Without self-doubt, we would be awful.
Yeah, 100%. We would be awful human beings, honestly. Like, no one needs, you know, boisterous egos just taking over society. I think,
although we've got that,
we do have that, and
I think we always have had those kind of people somehow get to the top. I don't know why.
Yeah,
but I think I see self-doubt as a positive trait, because it's also humility, and it's also understanding, and it's also empathy. It's kind of connected to a lot of positive things which are good for us as a community.
100%, I agree. Especially on the point of humility, it's just the different things that self-doubt can unlock, I think, is really powerful. It's just really having an awareness of self, not to get stuck there, and knowing that eventually you will need to move forward or turn this into a positive for your own good and sanity and well-being, really.
Now, the way you've talked about the life that you're leading as a creative now, it sounds quite singular, like there's a lot of responsibility on you. You're not talking about we, the team, you're talking about you as the person, as part of a wider team. Sitting here on the bench, when I cycled past you, you had your phone in one hand, your vape in the other. So on your phone is all your friends and all your support network. How lonely is the life of a creative that you have chosen, and how important is the phone in your hand for keeping the chat going with your mates?
Yeah, it's definitely, it can feel lonely at times, because you've taken a step, or you've gone out on a whim to pursue something that you really feel passionate about, and no one is going to understand it more than you do. And sometimes translating that to other people can feel exhausting, like for you or even for them, or you feel like, oh, people aren't that invested, or they don't really care that much, so I don't want to go into too much detail.
I think that's the one of the things, is that other people might support you, but it's your life.
Yeah, it's your life. This is the thing. And ultimately,
they're like, you do.
Yeah, and they can only support you with what they have and what they can at a certain point. But I definitely do lean on my community a lot. I mean, especially like with how I've been feeling today, like super anxious. The past couple of days hasn't been easy for me. Like, I have been leaning on like my chosen family, like my team players, as I call them, a lot.
Nice.
For just that support, the soundboarding, and just to talk through things. because I can't keep it all in, which is a very kind of default response of mine. Like I have to
But
do it
that's
all
great
on my own
though.
and all
But
this.
surely sharing is
Yeah.
halving the problem. Well, not halving the problem, but sharing is helping.
It is, and ultimately,
I mean, does it matter what they say in response, or is it just putting it out there?
not really. Sometimes it's just putting it out there because it's just allowing someone, like, this is the thing. I feel like quite plainly it's putting the weight of it on someone else, but even if it's just for a second, it provides me with so much relief. And sometimes I don't want to do that, or I feel really worried if I do that, because it's like I don't want to burden you with my issues, you know, and you've probably got things going on as well. And my people are like, no, like, use us, that's what we're here for.
Oh,
Like,
that's good. That's good
know.
that they say that.
Yeah.
So they're positively encouraging it, and they're like, don't hold back.
Yeah, I think it's because they
Pour
know
it
how
out.
hard it is for me, though, because I really do keep things in. I'm very much like,
Doesn't sound like it.
it's just, well, it's been a journey, a lot of therapy and a lot of years of just, you've got to change, woman.
You're a professional sharer now.
Oh gosh, I'm quivering inside, honestly, but I just know it's better out than in, like, and the weight of carrying it is too much for me.
There's also something that happens when you share, especially when you're in emotional trouble and you talk to your best friends, the ones you really trust, and you cry on them, and you really open up and you're vulnerable to them because you can be. You do feel lighter afterwards because there's something that happens when you communicate a problem to people who you love, that somehow their love also comes back and strengthens you.
It does.
In a way.
It absolutely does. Like, you've put it perfectly, because I was, on Sunday I had a really bad breakdown, and I was luckily with two of my best friends, and I couldn't even hold myself up because I was crying so much, and just them two holding me. Sometimes I couldn't even speak. I was just trying to regulate my breathing, and they were like, no, you've got this, like, we're here for you, you know, just consoling me. And that love returned gave me the strength to stand on my own 2 feet again at a point where I was super low and just felt really, like, defeated. And I think it is that kind of echo chamber that feels really like, is it cathartic, lethargic? No, not lethargic. Cathartic, yeah. Like, it's just it's a different type of expression, because I know that the problems that I'm sharing are being held in a safe space with good intentions, and that they are well equipped, even if it's just by their intent, to hold what I'm giving them right now.
Yeah, so that vulnerability is safe in the safe space.
Exactly that. Exactly that.
And that's lovely. I mean, I love the image of your friends physically holding you up and hugging you, because that's all you need.
Yeah, that's in that moment, that is all I needed. I was literally in the middle of Waterloo, and there was the hustle and bustle of life.
Oh wow,
going
you're
on
in a
around
public
me.
place.
Yeah, I was in a public place as
Blimey,
well.
Elizabeth.
Yeah, this wasn't in the confines of a bedroom.
Oh my, I thought you were in someone's home and just like.
No, this was
my
quite
goodness.
literally on the side of the road, because
Wow.
the overwhelm just got me at a point that I didn't expect, and I felt like how my body was reacting was like a cry for safety, which was why they had to hold me as
That's
they
serious.
did. Yeah. Which is why a community and having safe people around you is really important.
And maybe you could do it because they were there.
Yeah.
Maybe
Yeah.
if they weren't there, you would have held on. You would have held yourself together because you knew it would have been a bit of a disaster.
For sure. I think if it was different people, maybe I wouldn't have gone as deep as I did, or it wouldn't have come out as loudly as it did, you know. But I felt like I could, because they know who I am. They've known me for over a decade, and they've gone through ebbs and flows with me, so they know, okay, we know this is a really difficult subject for you to talk about. We know how you are in your nature, because you tend to hold things in. Your perfectionism gets to you, but this is a reminder that you don't have to do this with us. Like, we actually want you to get there. Like, let it out. And that's what they kept saying, let it out.
Wow. Wow, the
Yeah.
intensity, but the gorgeous intensity of that
Gorgeous
scene.
intensity, quite literally. But yeah, beautifully put, to be honest.
God, I mean, our whole chat has been very deep and has been kind of all about the emotions, hasn't it? It's been very kind of open. So you're a very thoughtful, open person. You put your thoughts out there very well. I've really enjoyed hearing your conversation and hearing what you had to say.
Thank you.
Looking forward, you said that this is kind of, you're still not out of the woods in terms of the crisis you're in. Do you know that there's an end point? Do you know there's a point beyond which it won't be so important, even though you'll always have Waterloo with those friends?
Even though I'll always have Waterloo, honestly. I guess my kind of overarching perspective on life is that, you know, it's a Bible verse, you know, in the sense of, okay, weeping may endure for the night, but joy always comes in the morning. And I'm just of the point of view of, if I am blessed with another day, that is another day for things to go well, or for things to get better, and ultimately just drilling into my mind that I'm not alone and I don't have to do things on my own, and really just leaning on community. Because I feel like if I adopt this mindset of isolation and just holding the brunt of it all myself, that's where things start to spiral. But it's me actively taking that vulnerable step to reach out to people. And I'm even here because I'm waiting before I go and see another set of friends to comfort me, because I had a crisis earlier. And yeah, I think just really being more gentle on myself, taking time to really like understand and absorb what's going on right now, because I know that everything that is happening for a reason. And one of those reasons will be for me to plug it back into my work, because I've got a completely new perspective, or not even completely new, but a much richer perspective on certain emotions, pain, guilt, you know, zeal. Like,
So these layers inform you, will be part of you. They're not going to be shoved to one side and forgotten. They are all contributing to you going forward.
Oh, 100%, because it's going to feed into the conversations that I have, my, you know, level of understanding. If someone else is going through something that I've been through, or in a similar situation, I can genuinely say I've been through it, and I know how hard it gets, and I know how intense that emotion can be. But trust me, you're going to get out on the other side. It may not seem like that now, but you will stand on your 2 feet again.